Hey, my name's Nick Wichman, and I just wanted to talk about shooting video with Sony cameras. There's a couple things I'm going to cover. The first is Sony glass, what you need, and trying to figure out what you want for the things you're shooting. Number two, Sony color science. It's really important to feel confident about what you're shooting and getting the right colors from the subjects and from the landscapes you're trying to capture. And number three is the hardware you're gonna use to elevate your shots and your videos to the level you want them. Here we go. Okay, Sony glass. One of the biggest and the most important parts of your camera setup is the glass you're actually shooting through. The sensor on your camera is important, your camera body is important, but if the glass is crap, you're stuck. You're stuck with a crappy image. That's it. The glass that Sony has released on their FE lenses is great. The key thing that I want to help you understand is what glass do you really need? A lot of times when people start shooting, they will go and kind of go nuts. You'll spend too much money buying too much glass, too many lenses, and then you'll end up with something I like to call shelf rot. Shelf rot is when you have all your lenses up on the shelf looking so dope, all your friends come by and they're so impressed, and you only use one freaking lens. Stupid. Don't do that. I would recommend buying one lens. One lens to start. Get a lens that you think will work for you. Don't get a specialized lens. Don't get a super wide. Don't get a super long focal length. Get something realistic. 35mm is great. A prime lens is great. A prime lens is a lens that is not, you don't zoom. There's no zoom, it's set. A 35mm lens is set at 35. A 55mm lens is set at 55. Getting a prime lens to start on your Sony cameras is a great practice, because then it teaches you how to be flexible within that focal range and shoot your subject and your stories and whatever you want within the confines of that focal range. I really support that, and a lot of the time the prime lenses are actually a little bit clearer image, a little bit better at capturing your subject really clearly, because there's no adjustments to the glass being made. So the edges sometimes end up being a nice, crispy clear. But finding the glass that's right for you is important. And the first thing I did when I bought my Sony a7 S2 was I got two lenses. I got a 16-35 Zeiss f4 and a 35mm Zeiss 2.8. Now you're probably asking me, why the hell would I get two lenses that cover the same focal length? Number one, I was kind of stupid. It's stupid because lenses aren't cheap. But number two, I wanted a prime lens that was small and compact, street shooting, whatever. And the 35mm lens is just this cute as a button little package. And it sits so tiny on the camera that it's really unassuming when you're out on the street. But what I learned is that the 16-35 is so flexible, especially for doing vlogging or shooting Instagram stories where I'm shooting myself. I barely used my 35mm lens until recently, and I call that shelf rot. 35 was just sitting there on the shelf, gathering dust and not being used. And then only within the past couple months did I really start shooting with this again and found how incredible the image is. So depending on what you're shooting, make sure you're getting the right lenses. If you're gonna get two lenses when you're starting out, get something wider. I think that on Sony, the 16-35 is such a great focal range. It can get the wide, awesome landscape or city shots that just wrap around in the image with fairly little distortion, and then get something more focused. I think I have this 55. The 55 1.8 is a freaking hot tamale. This thing, the 1.8 lets in so much light when it's all the way open. For portraiture and for a little bit longer shots, the 55 is just so fantastic. Now, if you're Shooting video of wildlife, you might need to get something longer because you're not gonna be able to walk up to a freaking deer and shoot them. So my next lens that I have is the 90mm 2.8 macro. I got this for product photography actually, and product videography, so we can get really close on it, but it's still a 90mm lens, so I can shoot a little bit further away. Unless you are used to shooting sporting events and wildlife photography or videography where you're out in the wild and they're not close to you, I wouldn't recommend getting a 70-200 lens because it's just overkill and they're not cheap. This is my latest edition lens, the 90mm, and I would not recommend starting with this unless you know you're gonna need it. Start with something simple like a 35. Film has been shot in 35 forever, and why not start with something that was established well before you ever came along to join the party? 35. Don't overdo it. Lenses, out of the way. Number 2, the color science. People complain a lot about the Sony color science. And you know what? I don't disagree. But the A7S II in particular, I got it for this reason. It shoots such good low light with very minimal noise. If you want to shoot really good low light video and photos, then the A7S II has to be a contender on your list. But the color science isn't quite there. Everyone drools over the Canon color science. Just listen to anyone. They freak out about it. It's so juicy, it's so rich, it's so whatever. There's a solution for Sony camera owners to adjust the color science to reflect something that's a little closer to Canon's color science. And it is called EOS HD Pro Color 3. It's by, hold on, I gotta look up his name. It's by a guy named Andrew Reid. And this is a customized settings booklet that will teach you how to adjust your color science, your picture profile settings to reflect a rich, real color style. Canon color science can finally be used on your Sony cameras and their picture profiles. It's really incredible. You need to check out EOS HD Pro Color 3. Of course, there's a video about it that they do that shows the difference. If you have a Sony camera, you'll notice that when you're shooting or taking photos, there's just like blues and greens or yellows just bleed across the image. You can't color correct it out because it'll affect everything. Take a look at the video. I'll put it right here. It's cheap and it's easy, and they give you multiple different picture profiles based on the warmth that you might want. And then they also give you some custom white balance settings. But if you use these picture profile customizations from EOS HD, you can just set your white balance to auto, and it actually works. It actually works. So if you're just getting into Sony cameras, try this out. It's just adjusting the settings, and it's a guide. It's cheap. It's like 30 bucks or something. Go do this. They even have an S-Log, C-Log picture profile, so you can shoot in a better version of S-Log. Check it out, EOS HD. It'll change your perspective on shooting video with the Sony cameras. Finally, third thing, hardware. Hardware is super important to how you shoot. Whether you're gonna be shooting video handheld, on a tripod, on a gimbal, on a Steadicam, the hardware is really important. For starting out with Sony cameras, if you're kind of new, I'd recommend only getting a couple things. One, I'd get a tripod. Tripods are just the best way to stabilize everything. It might not communicate a really cinematic movement, but you can always rest assured that your video is stable. I use the Benro Aero 4, which is a travel video tripod. I use it everywhere. I use it all the time. It's lightweight, it's under 6 pounds. It has a smooth, flexible ball head, which is really important for leveling anywhere you go. The legs can move independent of each other, and so you can go into some precarious locations. If it's not level on the top when you're there, you can just adjust the ball head and it will level it back out. Then you'll have a nice level place to start shooting from. Check out the Benro Aero 4. It's fairly cheap and it's light. You can carry it with your backpack. It's awesome, I love it. Or check out some others, but I'll add a link to that below. The next one is a cage. For shooting video, stability is really key. I have this Photodiox shark cage. The key thing about a cage is it adds stability to your shooting, so you have a handle grip and you have the side of the camera that you can hold on to, or you can add a handle and put it in any way you want. Like, these are all adjustable and customizable, but it just adds stability. Included in most cages is a rod system. It's all about flexibility and stability. From this cage, you can then, on the top or the sides, you can add hot shoe or cold shoe mounts. You can put your microphone, you can put a screen, a monitor, you can put a light. It just adds, look, like all of the holes mean more things that you can strap onto this thing. These are fairly cheap too. I'll add a link to this, but look around. I really appreciate this one in particular. It's got the dope little wooden handle grip, which I really like. And then I put this top handle sideways because I shoot daily Instagram videos. So like I can cruise around like this and get stable footage. It's really fun and awesome. Photodiox shark cage. Cool. The third hardware that I think that anybody starting videography should have is the stereotypical GorillaPod. In the realm of videography and tools and hardware, these are cheap. You can get different sizes, they're flexible, you can strap things onto trees or poles and get stable video. Make sure you get one with the adjustable ball head. That way you can level it out wherever you are and make sure the video starts out level. The Joby GorillaPod, link below for this as well. Just think about it. Like, this is so simple. And shooting with this adds stability. Everything you add to the camera might add weight, but if you can do it in a thoughtful way to make sure you have only the things you need, that weight can equal more stability for shooting. Joby GorillaPod. I think this is a big one. And then I think the last thing that I wanted to add at the end, this isn't necessarily hardware as much as this camera accessory, are ND filters. It's like sunglasses for your lens. If you're shooting outdoors and you want to shoot with great depth of field, you've got to add an ND filter to your camera. That way you can shoot wide open at f2 and your image isn't going to be totally blown out by the light outside. I would recommend saving up your bucks and getting one for the lens you use the most. I got this one for my 16-35. I would also recommend getting a variable ND filter, so when you turn it, it darkens it. It's kind of cool and magical, but it's expensive. This is a 6-stop ND filter by B&W. It's great, but not very flexible. Don't skimp on your ND filters. Don't get the ones from Amazon. It's just not that great. Spend a little money, save up, get the things you need. Stop buying stuff that's just gonna sit on your shelf and get shelf rot. Videography's too expensive to do that, you know? So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this. I covered the glass. Choose the right glass for you. Don't get lenses you're not gonna use. Get one at a time and build as you need it. And then return it or resell it if you don't use it. 2, the color profile for Sony EOS to HD Pro Color 3. Check that out and use it to adjust your picture profile settings to more closely represent Canon's picture profiles. Richer colors, more true to reality, and less color bleed of the blues, the greens, the yellows. It'll save your footage. And then the hardware. Get a tripod, get a cage if you think that's necessary, and maybe just get a GorillaPod. Of course, there's a lot of other things that you probably need and you probably want, like a microphone. Get a microphone, I don't care what you get. I'll make a video about what I use. But get the things you need, don't waste your time on other things, and make something cool with some Sony cameras. That's it. I'm kind of all over the place. I'm all excited about the sun being out and I want to go out and shoot some stuff. If you like this, give it a thumbs up or whatever, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe, and if you have any questions, let me know and I'll try to help you out. Links below. Have fun shooting. Good luck.